Kia ora, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Alvi, and today we are just going over my favourite art supplies of 2023. It's basically just a few things, going over them, showing them off, and maybe even an example if I do this long enough, quick enough. So I'll bring you around to the front now. So this is what we're looking at. Maybe we'll start with the kind of tools, because that's kind of where you usually start. So I have the erasers. I've just got a kind of block eraser. I'm pretty sure it's Faber-Castell. It's like $1 when it's stationery season. So like when stationery is on special, this is $1, but otherwise it's just $2. But it's a really good, solid eraser. No pun intended, because it is solid as well. And then moving on, we've got my kneaded eraser, which I've only really just gotten used to using, and I still don't always, aim for it when I'm thinking of an eraser, but it's really good, especially with watercolor paper, because it doesn't damage the paper you're erasing from. So that is a huge bonus. So really good for that kind of thing. You can kind of mold it, fold it in, and you don't get any eraser dust as well, which is always a bonus. So that's that. Moving on, we have the pencil, the singular pencil, but it came in a set with like lots of different weights of it. So like, I think it was from F, which I didn't know there were F pencils, but from F to like B6 through 6B or something. So good arrangement there. Lots of different weights and everything. It was a pretty cheap set for what it was as well. I've had it since 2019 and I still have all the pencils. So yeah, it's a classic, nifty pencil with lots of and like the set itself was really good and it's cheap. So it's by JazzArt, which is a common occurrence in some of the tools I have. Moving on, we have my all-time favorite pen. You'll see me using it like 90% of the time. It is Uniball, a Uniball Eye micro pen. So it's really amazing. I love it to death. It's my favorite pen. I use it anytime I can. I take it with me everywhere. And I just got a set of 4 or 5 of them from like Warehouse Stationery. And they're really cheap for what they are, and they last so long. Like, I really ever need to change the pen. I've had my travel set here for so long, and I put a Uniball pen in there, and I think I've only recently needed to change it about like a month or 2 ago, and that's just because like the ink overflowed and stuff in the barrel here. So it was all like just black in here, so the ink it got overworked. But yeah, no, it's really smooth, beautiful to use, and 100% recommend these pens. They are worth the price. They are pretty cheap for it, and yeah, waterproof, fade proof. You just can't rub them straight away. You gotta give them a little bit of time to settle in, but so good. Here right in front of us, we have a plastic paper towel. And then these, which I got from the op shop. They are just candle holders, but they are the best dishes to just pour some water in, so I'm not wasting any water or anything. They're a really good size, and you can stack them away. They don't take up much space. Love them so much. And yeah, they are glass, so they're a bit fragile, but I don't take them traveling with me. That is kind of in studio desk environment. And yeah, love them so much. So moving on, we've got tape. I love these. These are great. We've got some washi tape, which creates a really thin, precise borders. I got 4 of them for about like $6. It's a little pricey, but it's not too bad, especially if you get them on special. And they're different thicknesses that you can kind of shape down if you want to. And I recently found this, which is honestly amazing. It's life-changing. So PAL Tape Master. Trade quality kind of, yeah. So I love this. It's beautiful and purple, and it is low tack, and that means it's basically washi tape except so much more of it, and it's really good, especially like if you are painting on a wall for some reason. That's really good. Yeah. Oh, it's perfect for watercolor and like taping down and bordering and stuff, and you can always reshape it to this border size you want, you know. So yeah, amazing tape, love it so much. And yeah, I just got this from like Mitre 10, which is like mainly for like tools and kitchen and like furniture and like all the kind of weird stuff you'd like, you know, barbecues, and there's like house paints and stuff. And this was in like around the house paint section. So yeah, don't underestimate them. Really good. And then moving on. Oh, got a couple of these. So these are just like claw clips, which I use to like hold down paper if it doesn't sit flat. And these are really good. They're strong, they're sturdy, and I've got 2 of them. They're really good, and that is, you know, random claw clips. Like, there are paper ones as well. There are like lots of different types of these, but I like these ones. They're big, chunky, and do the job. Oh, that was a bit dramatic. Next, we've got paper. So these are kind of my sketchbooks that I love and stand for. This one more than the other one I'll show you, but they're the same brand. They're Winsor & Newton. This is probably my favourite thing that Winsor & Newton produces. One of my favourites. So it's just like spiral bound, and this was an A4 one. The price has recently gone up in New Zealand. From Warehouse Stationery, it costs about $17-18, which is definitely pricey, but it is 100% cotton. It's 200 GSM, so it's a little thin, but it does the job. Like, you can see there's a slight curve, but the paper is basically stays flat even with lots of water added to it. So it's really good in that regard. It's got a little bit of texture, if you can see that. And then it's got these dotted lines, which if you want, you can really neatly rip out the piece of paper. It's really good if you want to do a commission or give it a few attempts and you actually really like the first attempt, so you can rip it out without ruining the paper, without ruining the book, without ruining the picture. I've done it before and it works wonders. It's really good. It's spiral bound. Some people like it, some people don't. I love it. And it's just because it lays flat. Like, I open to this page, it lays flat. Like, look at that. You know, you can't get that with a hardcover kind of, I don't know how to describe it, not spiral bound book. As you can see, I've bordered off these pages, prepared for a next painting. But yeah, no, I love the sketchbook and I stand for it. Next, we've got this sketchbook, which I also love. I've yet to use this one in particular, but I've just finished a smaller version of this. The reason this one isn't my favourite is because it's so expensive compared to this one. This is like 15 New Zealand dollars, which is way, it's so expensive. Like, damn, it's a good sketchbook, but still, I don't have that kind of money. Well, I bought one because I wanted to try it, but still, it's really just expensive. It's 300 GSM, so it's thicker than this one. It's got 20 sheets, same as the other book, and then 40 pages. 100% cotton, which is what we love to see. It says it's made in Malaysia up here. It's a visual journal. So we've got this kind of opening page. Actually lays pretty well, flat. Oh, that's because it's got this weird thing going on. But that's alright. So this is kind of like a not watercolor piece of paper. And this, if I can get I don't think you see the texture, but it's like not too textured, but it's kind of textured, so it's like in between hot and cold press. But yeah, the paper won't lay flat unless you use the clips that I showed earlier. So that's one downside to this kind of book, is that it's really hard for it to like lay flat. So yeah, that's why it's only second place. But well, yeah, it's really good still. And then I guess we'll do brushes since there's quite a large collection here. Oh, that was about to roll off. Oh, yeah, no, we'll just go through these ones then. So I've got a couple snap brushes here. Princeton's, are they Princeton? Or did I read that wrong? Oh, it doesn't want to. They're really just rolling for it. Oh. They're snap round brushes, both of them. And size 10 and size 6. Size 6 is like a really nice size, and size 10 is also a really nice size just for like slightly larger works. But yeah, these are by Princeton, and yeah, they're really good. They're quite versatile. You can use them for acrylic or for watercolor. I really don't mind. Like, I don't mind my brushes too much. They don't hold water as well as some brushes might, but they're really good at getting like really fine details because they hold their shape really well. And then we've got another Princeton one, but this one's like a slightly different style. This is a Select oval mop, which sounds really fancy, and it's in like 1/4 inch, I'm assuming that's what it means. But yeah, it's quite nice. It feels really nice to hold. I don't know why. But yeah, it like holds water really well. And yeah, it like colors in space. Really good for like background washes and stuff. And like a A5 surface. Really nice. We continue the brushes. We'll just do these three. These three are actually really cheap brushes. Like, I think I got the 3 of them for $6, which is, you might question the price. I also questioned it. I was like, oh, are they gonna shed bristles everywhere? But no, they're actually incredible, and they don't shed. I'm like shocked. They don't shed. They're really good at like setting backgrounds. I use this for acrylic painting, especially on a canvas. Like, you want to set the paint down, like getting a background, or like prepping the canvas with some gesso or something. Really good for that. And yeah, no, I love it. They're really nice to use, and they cover large spaces. Quite good variety in the brush sizes. And yeah, cheap, affordable brushes just from Warehouse Stationery. That's a common theme. I know some, like quite a few places don't have Warehouse Stationery, but it's like a Warehouse Stationery is basically like a, I don't know, what do you have overseas? Maybe, does Walmart sell really cheap random things, or maybe like a Kmart, or what else is overseas? Target? Is that like, I think that, yeah, okay, probably something like that. Kind of like cheaper things that like everyday people can afford. It's not like, yeah, I'll stop explaining. Then we've got a few more. This came with my Rembrandts. This is like a really fancy brush to me. It's Rembrandts 4 Pure Red Sail. It's like table, but sail. Sable. Oh, that sounded right. Red Sable Royal Talent, which sounds really fancy, but it holds water so well. Let me try and get the bristles in focus. It like holds water really well. It's a nice round shape, and like it looks small. It is small, but it can cover large spaces, and it works really well. And it's a travel brush, so you can unpack it and put it away without getting the bristles ruined in like a travel set. So it's a really nice brush. We continue. This is a staple brush. It is Daz Round Talon White. I use it for acrylic, gouache, watercolor. It does everything I need it to do, and lots of sizes, lots of shapes. They'll come up again later in the video. You'll see why. And yeah, no, this was $2. Like, and it doesn't shed it. It's a perfect brush, and $2. So yeah, really cheap, affordable brush, and I love it so much. This is a really fancy brush to me. It is, I don't know if you can read that. Daler. D-A-L-E-R. Dalen. And it says Japan. Yeah. So, really fancy. It says half, so that's, I'm guessing, the size of the bristles. It's really long. Like, it's got really long tip here. So, it holds water so well, covers large surfaces, it's really good for watercolor. It's my favorite flat brush. It is I remember when I like first started finding like brushes I like to use, this was the first one that like I got attached to. Like it was the only brush I used for so long, which really is saying something because these are all different round brushes. But this is, if I get a flat brush, if I want to grab a flat brush, this is the flat brush I'll use. Unless it's for gouache, then I'll just use a random cheap, shitty, not shitty, but like not as good quality brush for that. Same with acrylic. But watercolor, this is the best. Then we shall continue. Maybe we'll just do this one first. So this is just a random plastic palette from the recent set of Winsor & Newton Cotman paint. I got it like, it's an extra attachment, but I use it for like sets like my Pueblo, and I will be using it for gouache because it just means I don't need to use my palette in the sky for gouache, and that means it can be a separate thing, you know. And it's really nice, it's small, simple, has lots of different wells. Yeah, it's good. Any kind of bit of plastic like that, like an ice cream lid or something, will work wonders. So these are my, I didn't bring out all my paints because that's just stupid. So I've just got different brands of them. So this is acrylic paint. These are acrylic paints. Lots of different options here. So this is kind of what I started with when I first started getting back into it. Like from the really bad quality ones, I was like, okay, I've finished with my poster paints. I want something better. I want like actual paint. So I invested in a few of these guys. This is just one of them. This is actually a present. It's really good. And yeah, it's a staple student brand, student grade acrylic paint. Really nice. And then we've got this, which is the next thing I got, which I got a set of them, like set of 12, just to see if I liked them. They're really nice, and it was a really good set of colours to get, because that way I had like a lot of small tubes of paint to, you know, get used to, use, see if I like. We've got this, which is the main professional brand I use, which is Liquitex. That's just because it's available best to me. Like, it's at the warehouse stationery. I live near a warehouse stationery, so it is the best available professional grade acrylic paint I have, and I love it so much. It's really, really amazing quality, this stuff. So highly, highly recommend Liquitex if you're looking for a professional acrylic paint. This is it. Finally, we have gouache. The only really professional grade ones I've tried is the Winsor & Newton designer gouache. So I got the primary set, so I had a set of lots of like basic paints, and yeah, I love using them. I've done this piece up here with them. That was more of a pastel one, and yeah, they're really good quality, and yeah, gotta love them. Then we've got my travel set. I love this. This is so good. That's a sticker. I don't know who did it, but I love it, so it just stays there now. This is by Jazz Art, the actual tin. I think it's you can find lots of shapes like this are all around the place, but this particular one is by Jazz Art. It's got palette here, brushes, some like Reeves, like a really cheap one, and another Daz brush down the bottom. I kind of customized it, so I've got 8 colours. There's a colour down here. We've got some wells, which are just like bottle lids, sponge, water, and of course the uni ball. I have a pencil in here sometimes, but yeah, that's the palette. I love it. It goes with me everywhere, and it's so small. It's like the size of my glasses case. Like, it's actually amazing. This is, I love it. What can I say? It's my favorite. But we also have this guy, which is another one of my favorites. I've had it for many, many years by Schmincke. This is a student grade original set. But the paints in it have long since been changed. So yeah, lots of different brands in here now. I've got, from this is the only Winsor & Newton one in here. But we've got like the Rembrandts, Schmincke, of course, lots of different Schmincke paints. I think we've got some Art Spectrum, some Sennelier, some Daniel Smith, Holbein, because I was trying that one out. a mysterious one that I don't know, some Rembrandt, some Imgram, yeah, and some core, and then yeah, lots of variety. I'm not too picky about my brand of paint. I just want to know what one I like the most, or like what colors I like by what brand. But the one you'll often see me use is Schminker, because that is just yes, that is my biasism. I love Schminker. I love Schminker so much because it's like one of the more affordable brands in New Zealand compared to like Daniel Smith. Daniel Smith is so overpriced here. I can't afford it, and like I can't bring myself to buying a tube of it just because it's just so expensive compared to other brands. Core is also really reasonably priced depending where you look. Winsor & Newton's pretty pricey, so I kind of avoid that one. And then Art Spectrum is pretty rare to find like in a local shop. And Holbein, Ingram, Rembrandts, those are either bought overseas or online. Same with some of the Daniel Smith sets, but I want to refrain from buying online, so I usually just buy in local shops and stuff. So you'll usually see me with Schminker or some random finds like the Jazz Art set. So yeah, this is my favorite like in studio kind of palette. Goes with me a lot of places, and I just love how it looks. It looks so beautiful. So yeah, thank you for watching. Yeah, I hope this was interesting, insightful, or maybe even useful. If not any of those things, at least enjoyable, hopefully. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, evening, whatever, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!